Hello everyone, this is Christine at the craft table. Actually, this week I separated my craft table and my computer table. Actually just today, so I'm gonna see how that works. Maybe I can keep from spreading out my computer work over to my craft table and keep my craft table a little cleaner because it keeps getting so cluttered I can't put anything on it. And that is the reason why I have not blocked my latest completed scarf, because I had no place to put it. So I finally have an empty table, I think big enough to spread it out and block it. I will be doing that tonight, hopefully. But that aside, today's my weekly update. First off, how am I doing health-wise? Well, I'm feeling really good. But you want to know the weight, right? Yeah, the weight. The motto for this week, or the lesson, the moral of the week is you cannot keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. So I need to make more of an effort, clearly. I am back up 1.2 pounds this week. Not pleased. Not terribly surprised because, well, you know, you convince yourself in your head that you're doing a good job, but I'm eating at a maintenance level rather than at a weight loss level, and I'm not moving enough. And so a weight loss expert that I watched for a while on YouTube would say, if you're not losing, double your movement. And that should be really easy for me to do since my movement this week has been about 0. Yeah, I think we can double that. Oh, shame. Yeah, I think I didn't do a full I didn't do a full workout one day this week. I think I stretched in the evening twice. That's about it. So, back to the gym this week. I promise. I'm going tomorrow. And I'm going to start the food log again because obviously I'm lying to myself about how much I'm eating, and I'm eating too much. Plain and simple. So maybe I need to buy smaller bowls or use smaller plates. I think that's it. I bought one really cute small plate I was going to use, and half the time it is in the dishwasher. So I might need more than one. And I bought some new bowls, which I do use. But I could probably use a couple more. So we will work on quantity of food eaten by keeping the food log and movement by getting to the gym. And hopefully, if anything I have to report to you next week, it will be that I did those 2 things, and that's going to be a plus. And we'll just see where the scale goes. But I promise I'm going to do those 2 things. So, but yeah, otherwise I feel fine. I've had headaches a little more often lately, and I think that might be because I had a couple of sodas. Yep. I don't know why I do it, people. Coca-Cola. I'm almost guaranteed to have a headache the next morning if I drink a soda with dinner, which I did a couple times. Thankfully, I have finished all of the Coke that was in the house, and I'm not buying any more. What was there had been sitting there for months without being touched. We hardly drink soda at all anymore. And then I just started falling back into old ways. I might have been eating something salty, like some popcorn, and I chose to have a soda. I did it knowingly. I thought, let's just get rid of these. Instead of dumping them down the sink, I drank them, poured them down my gullet, and I was rewarded with some headaches that lasted, yeah, a couple days actually. I think it was a combination of the sugar rush and I had some tightness in my neck. And if I just fall asleep in the wrong position, I can wake up with a killer headache. And I think that might have been part of it too. But you know what happens? You're not feeling well. You just kind of eat whatever feels good to eat. And usually I will go for the carbs, of course. And I couldn't tell you what exactly I ate. Sandwiches. I love a good ham and cheese sandwich. Yeah, I had that several nights. Sandwiches, soda, popcorn. I went through a big bag of popcorn. The popcorn probably didn't do too much damage. It was the soda and the bread. Really haven't had any fast food or sweets. What did I have? Oh, I made some quick breads twice. I made a chocolate chip pumpkin bread. I figured it's better if it's homemade than bought at the store, but at the same time, you're still eating it, and it's still got lots of sugar in it, and butter, and you know, all the things that are not conducive to losing weight. So I made that, which was very good actually. There's I don't know, should I share it? There's a wonderful chef on YouTube. It's called The Preppy Kitchen, and I think every single one of his recipes I have tried have been delicious, but they are by no means healthy eating, you know. It's dessert. Let's just say that. And then the second thing I made was a pumpkin bread, just plain pumpkin bread. No, I haven't made that yet. That was on my list. I have 2 cans of pumpkin in my pantry. I cleaned out my pantry, and I have these cans of pumpkin that were just past their date, so I can't donate them anywhere, and I wanted to use them. I knew they'd be fine. So I used one of them in the chocolate chip pumpkin bread, and I have one more, and so I thought I would make a plain pumpkin bread because I don't have any more chocolate chips. I might still make that and just, I don't know. I'm torn. You either buy it or you make it, right? I'm not gonna go totally dessert free. I can't do that. I know what happens to me when I do that. It backfires on me, and I just go crazy, and for a week I'll eat Little Debbie's cakes, you know. It's just, yeah, it's not a good plan. So I will probably eventually make that pumpkin bread, but again, try and eat smaller pieces. The second one I made was a banana bread, because I had 3 bananas that had gone past being anyone wanting to eat them fresh. They were all spotted and too soft. And I asked, do I blame my husband? I asked him, should I freeze these for smoothies or make a banana bread? And he said, make a banana bread. So we'll just blame him for that one, okay? Yeah, it was good. It was tasty. What can I say? Thankfully, I didn't gain 5 pounds, okay? I gained 1 pound, so here we are. And the banana bread is gone. So, and I didn't buy any bakery goods, so there's a plus, right? Okay, moving on. So yeah, health-wise, you've got the goals, and I will try and meet them. A couple other things I wanted to mention, kind of on the just daily living topic, is I found a great website, or a great YouTube channel called Peaceful Home, and she does decluttering mostly. thrift shopping too. It's a fun channel to watch if you're into that kind of stuff. I like one series that she did where she takes 15 minutes and she cleans out a closet and finds, a third of the things that she can donate, and in that way declutter. And she sets the timer so she doesn't have to commit to hours and hours of doing this, just 15 minutes. And yeah, it was funny. She did one on glassware, and she had so many glasses, and all I kept thinking was, yep, I need to do that one. Not because of formal glassware, but I have this problem collecting jars. When you empty the pasta sauce or the pickle jars, anything with a wide mouth, I tend to want to save and reuse. And I do use some of them, like for candy or nuts, or I do find uses for them. But I have too many. I know I have too many, and I know it's time to take them all down and count them. Anyway, she had a counter full of glassware and so many jars that I just laughed, and I wonder how many of us are like that, where our cupboards are just ready to explode with saved up empty jars. Yeah. I have stopped myself from saving the ones with the small openings anymore. Like, I think I had some Prego spaghetti sauce, and they have a really small opening, and so I stopped saving those. I forced myself to toss it. There's this really good beef bone broth, chicken bone broth and beef bone broth called Zoop. I know they sell it at Meijer, but they sell it other places too. It's Z-O-U-P. Delicious bone broth. It makes a wonderful vegetable soup. But sadly, it's a nice big jar too, but the mouth is very narrow. So for me, it's not, I'm never going to reuse that. So sadly, I have to toss them. Anyway, you may enjoy her channel, so I will put a link to it below this video. Check her out. I think she's fun to watch, and if you're a crocheter and crochet while you're watching, it's a nice, you learn something, you get inspired, and you can crochet at the same time. She gives wise advice too, and she seems really authentic, a real person. She's passionate about what she's talking about without being overly dramatic. Some people who just, it's almost like they're shouting at you the whole time they're talking. I don't like those. And so, yeah, that's why I find her very calming and easy to watch. So, kind of like a friend dropping by your house to chat with you and give you some tips about decluttering. Or shopping at thrift stores. She finds some wonderful things. She does all of her Christmas shopping at thrift shops, and she can do this because her whole family is kind of into it, so they're okay with receiving gently used items or stuff that you thrift. And so yeah, fun channel. Okay, enough said. Starting the day in the Word is still key for me. I love doing it, and it's so easy to subscribe to a devotional that will come to your email box, or it'll text you. So I'm still recommending that strongly, and just starting each day asking for prayer and wisdom about every choice that you make. And for me especially, it has helped. I have noticed in my shopping, my grocery list, I'm able to stick to the list and not pick up things that I should not be picking up. Yes, I'm baking them, but I'm not buying them. Also, having a to-do list really helps me to stay productive during the day. Since I'm a full-time homemaker these days, I really strive to stay productive and not waste time. And I know I waste too much time watching YouTube videos, but it helps me to make a to-do list. I don't have anything fancy either. I just use my calendar on my phone. I set a appointment, and then in the notes, I just put my to-do list, and every day I will update that. Sometimes I go a couple days without updating, I'll be honest, but I update that with, sometimes I'll put a schedule of what I want to do, or what I'm going to eat that day. I'll take the time to think of the leftovers that are in the fridge, what needs to be eaten, what needs to be prepared or used. It's a good time in the morning to do that, or even in the night before, when you're calm and you can think about it, and not waiting till I'm hungry and I walk into the kitchen, because that's not the time to do it. That's when I'm just going to grab the easiest and first thing that I see, and the poor leftover gets neglected in the back of the refrigerator. Yeah, so I like jotting down the night before or early in the morning what the menu plan is for the day, and have some options in there for my husband. We kind of eat on our own whenever we're hungry, and so I just try and keep some leftover options in there if we're running low. I know the fancy term for it these days is called meal prep. I do, when I make a pot of soup, I make a good amount, so it'll last us a few days. Or if I make a casserole or a skillet meal, it's usually enough to have leftovers for a day or two. And that's what I'm talking about, leaving stuff that my husband can grab and put in the microwave and heat up. There's usually stuff for sandwiches, which I am happy to make for him. I tell him all he has to do is ask. And he does. So, yeah, having a list, ongoing list on my phone every day is really helpful. I also keep track of things I want to buy on that list. Now, groceries, I'll do, the Kroger has a list feature, or not a list feature, but I just start filling a cart. From the day after I finish a shopping trip, I'll notice something missing, and rather than writing it down, I just go to the Kroger app and I enter it in my cart. And if I happen to shop at Meijer that week instead of Kroger, I'll just look at the Kroger list and move everything over to Meijer and find it at Meijer. But I'll do that for both of those. Those are usually the two places I shop, is Kroger or Meijer. I did make a couple trips to Aldi recently, and I like the prices there for sure. So I will probably put that on my rotation as well and be checking them out. And I know they have an app, but I'm not really familiar with what all you can do there. So I would just probably use my Kroger list or my Meijer list and shop there in person, not placing an order for fulfillment or anything. What was the other one? I used to shop at Walmart a lot, but Walmart has gotten really difficult, at least in my experience, when something's wrong with your order. Like, I would do the pickup orders, and anytime there was a problem with like bad fruit that I received, or I even received some cracked eggs once, and they're difficult to find the number to call to reach them. And then when you finally are able to talk to somebody, when you talk to somebody, you do get results. But to get to that point, last time I think I spent 45 minutes probably trying to get to that point. It's just not conducive to granting you a rebate or a refund when something's wrong with the order, and I don't appreciate that. So yeah, I kind of stopped using them for that, and that's always more convenient than going in the store, so I ended up not shopping there very much lately. Okay, so those were just a few of the things I wanted to mention I thought about during the week, and that's it for Life with Christine. on her weight loss or not so much weight loss journey. Let's move on to crochet. I worked on a few projects this week. I kind of rotate them, you know, some get put away for a while and some get taken out, some get started new. And as you can see, I started a new pair of socks. I said I was going to, and I did. I just can't help myself. I'm really enjoying making socks, and it's my go-to pattern. Socks for Chubby Feet by Olga Poltava. And the yarn I'm using this time is Mary Maxim Festive Feet. And it's this gorgeous green and red and maroon and this dark, almost, well, like a forest green. Very pretty. And here is my progress so far. Isn't that cute? So nice. It works up really nicely too. These are all single crochets. And I have a while yet to go on this one before I am ready for the heel. This is a toe up sock. And yeah, really happy. Very easy to work with. I'm using my Clover Soft Touch 3.25 millimeter as the pattern calls for. I'm not going to adjust this one bit this time, and I'm going to see how it comes out. Actually wore the last pair that I made, and they're fine. They're, like I said, they were a little snug on the length of the foot and then a little looser on the ankle, but they were totally comfortable for sleeping in, so I was happy with that. That's the first project I started this week. What else did I work on? I worked on my gingham blanket. I think I showed you this last week. I had just started it. This is a gift for a baby coming into the world very soon. She or he is growing in her mama's belly right now. This is a pattern by Daisy Farm Crafts. Isn't that pretty? I'm loving this. It's called her Crumpled Griddle. The name just skipped me. Wow. What do you call it? Gingham. Her Crumpled Griddle gingham blanket, baby blanket. And this is fun to make. You do have to pay attention. I wasn't paying attention and I added a stitch on the end, so I had to frog a couple rows, but we're going good now. And I am using Hobby Lobby I Love This Cotton in white and the color Aspen and the color Aqua. So this is a nice 4-weight yarn, beautiful drape, and very soft. So I wanted it to be easy care, and I made a cotton blanket that I use all the time, and I love the weight of it, and it's just, it's a nice feeling blanket. So I am happy with this so far. This is going to be 5 blocks long, so we've only done 1, so we've got a good ways to go. It's 5 and 5, so 5 across and then 5 down. So after the white, I'll go back to the aqua and it'll be these 3 colors. So very happy with that. But it is a little slow going, so I like to switch off and work on something else, like my socks. And lastly, I think I've only worked on 3 things this week. Yeah, I worked a little more on my Bag O' Day blanket. This is the one I am doing in her new yarn, Tonal Hues, in the color 7 Seas. And I am making her Bavarian Stitch rectangle. So, which is very pretty, but a little bit challenging. It is all triple crochets, which I did not realize when I started this project, or when I was contemplating this project. And I might have been a little bit intimidated had I known that. It's not bad. I mean, you just have to take your time, watch your tension, and do what she says, because Crystal is a great teacher, and it will come out. So yeah, I did a lot on it for a couple days, and then I just kind of got tired, and so I moved on. But I will be back on this again because I am at the color change, so that's always nice to see. And yep, I'm using, did I say 7 C's in Tonal Hues, 7 C's. Plus, as soon as I'm done with one of these, I'm going to do a section in this linen color. So I'm gonna alternate because I don't have enough yarn to do the whole blanket in this. I only have three cakes of this, and it's about 400 yards short. So we shall see how that comes out. But enjoying working with this yarn. Sometimes I don't want to, it's not a splitty yarn. I went through a couple different hooks trying to figure out which was my favorite hook to work with, but now I think I'm going good on it. I'm actually just using a generic aluminum hook. It's a 6 millimeter. The deal with this is you are grouping 6, is it 6? I don't even remember anymore. I need to work on this. You end up with 9 loops on your hook at one time before you yarn over and go through all of them. So if you're using something like this, you're gonna have a problem because you don't even have enough room there for 9 loops, or they're gonna be very scrunched up. So it might be hard to work with. So I went with something that did not have the different handle, like a, you know, the rubber handle, or you know what I mean, right? The ones with an ergonomic handle, because it would get in the way of all those loops. Because this one, they'll go like up to here on the thing, on the hook, before I yarn over and go through them all. So it just makes it easier. The only downside is this hook is blue and my yarn is blue. But just use good lighting and it should be fine. So for that reason, I will like it also when we go to the linen color. And that is it for my crochet this week. And I also want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and to remind you that it's not really about the food, it's about the Thanksgiving. And hopefully we can all find much to be thankful for, and not only one day of the year, but every single day. It's a wonderful attitude to have, and especially if you find yourself feeling down, take a moment to remember all of the reasons you have to be thankful, all of the things you have to be thankful for, even if it's just getting up and walking out of your house each day, or having the ability to speak and see and hear and touch, and you know, sometimes we take mobility for granted, and my goodness, that's like the number one thing we experience every day is the ability to move. So find those things to be thankful for and truly be, because well, it's just a great mentality to have, is a thankful heart, and you will find yourself more hopeful and content if you dwell on the things that you have rather than what you don't have. And so with that, I am so thankful for heaven to look forward to, for salvation, for that bridge that was gapped by Jesus Christ when he came to this earth, lived as a man, died on a cross, and rose again on the third day for us, that we might have a way to heaven and a way to become children of God rather than enemies of God, which is what we were before we had Christ, before we knew Christ. There was an impassable gap between us and a holy God that he made possible. He made passable through his sacrifice and through his death and resurrection. And I couldn't be more thankful. I am for that. And just for all of his provision and the hope that he constantly fills my heart with, and the reminders that he gives me in his word when I kind of get tunnel vision and I can't see how things are going to work out, or I start to doubt, or I start to fear. Just opening his word and being reminded of his sovereignty, his power, his plan. He has a plan. And it is not his responsibility to reveal it to us step by step. In fact, if he did, we probably couldn't handle it. But what we can handle is the fact that he promises to walk with us. If we belong to him, if we've chosen to believe and to serve him, he will carry us through any trouble, any trial, and bring us through that on the other end, and just looking back saying, wow, how did that work out? But for God, yeah. With him, all things are possible, and it is possible to live with hope and joy and contentment, regardless of what our eyes see around us, because of the hope that lives within us. So, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. God bless you.